This is Oldman Youngboy, the grayest greenhorn, the man of nearly a dozen holds, and I'm here on the Three Count Podcast.
One. Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast, which is now entering, and now I'm your host, Clifford Red Dawg Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And with this being season 7, I would just hope you say it with me. I am your Sherpa, because like your tribal chief, acknowledge me. But like every good Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficient than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring tonight? Well, you can find this man at EWA. You can find this man running through Virginia. You can run this man running through Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania. If it's a state, this man has been there, and he is one man of many talents. You can also find him caught up with the Maryland edition of Catch Point. He is the great one, the immaculate old man, Youngboy.
The Immaculate. I haven't gotten that one before. Is it the hair? Did the hair get me to Immaculate?
It just looks good. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah.
It's like Dwight Good. You know what I mean? Like it's just feathered and just looking great. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Preparing for the snow.
Yeah, we all though.
Yeah. Got a broken shovel and have been to like 3 different places trying to get a new one. It's like, I guess the broken one's gonna have to do it.
You're just gonna stick it out, just hope it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because over here they're like, yeah, we're gonna get a snowstorm in Massachusetts, and I was like, okay, cool. How many inches? Like 2 feet. I was like, oh well, that sucks. I was like,
yeah.
Like, when's it gonna start? Sunday night into Monday. I was like, oh, even worse.
Yeah. I feel like it really just all depends on the city you're in, because it's like, I'm from Omaha, so they're a little bit more used to dealing with it. But, if you're in a city that doesn't get very much snow, and then they get like 4 inches of snow, everything shuts down. It's like,
yeah.
If you're not prepared for it, you're not prepared for it.
I've lived in like tons of different areas where snow is like hit, right? So I lived in Georgia, and so it's funny because you mentioned that you're from Omaha, and that's something that we have kind of our one part of other.
Yeah, that's right. You've got like the Cornhusker tattoo, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Being out from Scottsbluff, Baird, Nebraska, but Scottsbluff is what I call my hometown. Because if I told people like, "Hey, go find me Baird on the map," they're like, "I don't even know what that is."
I'm sure you get the same response out of Scottsbluff.
Well, at least in Scottsbluff is like the 4th or 5th largest city in Nebraska. And it's all the way in the west. Like it's not.
I always feel like I'm an emissary for Nebraska, so I got all these facts stored up.
Yeah.
One of them that I always hit people with is on college game day, the Cornhusker Stadium becomes the 3rd largest. So Scottsbluff must be smaller than Memorial Stadium on game day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like 20. I think it's right now 25 to like 27,000 people. So it's not like it's massive, but yeah, I tell people all the time. That's my favorite thing to tell them. I was like, when the Huskers are in town and they're playing on a Saturday, Memorial Stadium, which holds 90,000 fans, becomes the 3rd largest city in Nebraska. Which, to me, that's insane. But back to the point though of like their snowstorms and stuff. I was living in Georgia, and there was just a thought of snow, and they shut down my town for a day and a half because they're like, we don't know how these roads are going to be. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you should have salt trucks. They're like, what? No, it's like, all right, well,
yep,
they ain't home tonight. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was Georgia, but I remember hearing about a snowstorm in the South, and it was like 2 inches of snow, and they had like helicopter footage of this highway. It was like gridlocked. Yeah. And somebody had ordered pizza, and the delivery driver had just driven along the side of the road to deliver pizza to somebody stuck in traffic. It always blew my mind.
It's a good idea. I would do that. I saw one time where dudes they were on the back of a truck in Atlanta, and the truck was driving in 4x4 on a regular asphalt street, but the guys were sitting in the back of the truck just throwing salt by hand on the road. It's like, wow, we really are not prepared for this at all.
Yeah.
Like I think about like other people, and then I see Maryland, and I remember being in Scottsbluff, and I remember one time we were looking at the map and wait for our school to close down. So we're watching. Sorry, kids, you probably don't know this, but we have to watch the news to see whether our school would close down.
Yeah.
And man, I remember in Baird, it had snowed like a foot, and they're like, "Yeah, late start."
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"What?" And like my daughter's schools, right? So we'll just include the ones down in Maryland as well. Will shut down if there's snow. Like, hey, there's a snowstorm coming tomorrow, so we're just gonna go ahead and just cancel school. And I'm like, ah, lucky
Yeah.
kids, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's that whole thing. If the city's prepared for it and they know that it's like, nope, the plows will have gone by like 5:30 in the morning. They'll have gone through it. They'll have salted over it. Roads will be fine.
Yep.
Getting out of your neighborhood is going to be the only hard thing, but you can deal with like, 2 blocks of rough.
Yeah. Or maybe some people can't, man. I've seen
Yeah.
my daughter hates it because like whenever I know that our street isn't plowed,
Hmm.
like I just gun it and I'm just like, yeah, Tokyo Drift in this place, baby.
Yeah.
Yo, so talk to me, man. Like, we've been meaning to do this for a while, like for a long time, and it
Yeah.
just finally,
Yeah.
man, we decided we're like, all right, let's pull the trigger and let's get this done. Um, what got you into professional wrestling?
Uh, so I think it was when was Kofi Mania?
Oh,
2019 or 2018? I think it's
20,
19.
I think, yeah, no, 2018. I think it was 2018.
So
As you
let's
guys can
see.
tell, like he's looking up the facts.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah,
But yeah, because it was him and Daniel Bryan. Was
yeah.
that, and that was at Royal Rumble, right? Was
No,
when
it was
he,
at WrestleMania.
okay.
Oh, you talking about like the
He
initial?
yeah, yeah. So I tried to watch pro wrestling like during the Attitude Era, like all my friends, somewhere between the age of like 10 and 13 were super into it. And they're all trying to get me to watch it. And I finally tried. I lasted like 30 seconds. Like, nope. Because like, I don't know, like my parents met getting their black belts and it was like a big martial arts family. And so like that's kind of what I was used to. And then I
Yeah.
would turn on the TV and saw that. And I was just like, is anybody going to show these guys how to throw a punch? Like, what's going on? And I think it was literally like 30 seconds. I was like, no, not for me. And and yeah, that was like 20 years no wrestling after
Hmm.
that. And then in grad school, I had a friend of mine invite me over for that WrestleMania, and I was like, hey, I don't know if pro wrestling is really for me, man. I don't really get it. And he was like, just like we're gonna have snacks, people are gonna come over. Just think of it like murder gymnastics. And I'm like,
Gymnastics.
okay, I'll come check out murder gymnastics. And I was a big fan of Ultimate Ninja Warrior and like uh is it Katie Catanzaro?
Yeah, Casey
She was, yeah,
Santana.
Casey. She was in that, and she had like a cool little Ninja Warrior spot, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So I was like excited to see her, uh, excited for a handful of things, and I think Daniel Bryan had a match in that one, and I remember like standing up off the couch and being like, they're wrestling, and but between like the how athletic everything was, and it was a lot of fun, and I was able to enjoy it in kind of a different light. And uh and I kind of started watching with that friend of mine. He was probably like had the closest interest set of my little grad school circle, so we hung out a lot. We would watch wrestling a decent amount. But I think that first like pay-per-view that I watched, like in the back of my head was like, a lot of this stuff is in my wheelhouse. Like I did I did a little bit of gymnastics when I was really young, and like tumbling still comes to me pretty easy. I'll throw my body at stuff. I was always like in and out of various martial arts. Did a bit of judo. Did a lot of taekwondo, and I would just watch some things. I'm like, I think I could do that. And eventually, I was just found a school, um, and I was like, well, let's find out what I can do.
I like that. So it's funny because like even like for me, like I've kind of gone through like these little journeys and stuff like that, and I fell out of wrestling for a little bit, And then and then in college, like I happened to find like someone was watching Raw, and I was like, oh, I used to watch this. I was like, let me sit down a little bit, let me catch up and see what's going on. And I
Yeah.
think from that Monday, like I never got away from it. And so for me, like watching wrestling and then getting into the business now and like working at it, I was like, man, I was like, I could have been doing this for a long time because all the stuff that I'm learning
Yeah.
it would have been things I was gonna do anyway, just like throw myself on the ground like a 4-year-old, throw a temper tantrum. Yeah, that works. I
Yeah.
can do that, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it hurts my back, sometimes it doesn't, you know. But I'm like, hey, we there. So
Yeah.
I think about a lot of that stuff where it's like we're doing these kind of things, we're talking about these kind of things, we're working on it, you know. It's cool to me that I don't know, it's cool to me to be able to get into something that allows you to express yourself in like a more direct way, if that makes sense.
It does. I think that was one of the things that really drew me to pro wrestling was that I've always had like a rotating cast of hobbies, be it like climbing, martial arts, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, pick your nerd stuff, pick your physical hobby, and like I'd get really into it for like 3 months, and then I would like swap to something else. And I kind of hated one of the effects of that was just feeling like I never got to get good at anything. It was like you spend 3 months, you dive into it, you gain some skills. 9 months later, you get back to it. You spend the first month and a half just getting back to where you were when you left, right? And then and it's like it's kind of cool because you're just doing what you want to do, but at the same time, it's like you know the guy I met climbing 2 cycles ago of this, running through hobbies, like he's better, and I'm just catching up again. Um, and pro wrestling for me is like it's so many things. It's so many skills. It's live performance. It's athleticism. It's many types of athleticism. And if I start to like kind of fade interest wise on one of those interests, uh, there's something else for me to dive into. I like to learn how to set up a green screen and cut a promo that has 3 versions of myself going. Like I can get real into that, and then the rest of it's still right there. You never stop doing everything else. But I think the fact that it is a pretty direct way to express yourself, and it is one thing that requires so many skill sets, right? And it's so many skill sets for you to just dive into and just focus on and be like, oh, I need to figure this out. And then yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, what it is like my top thing is like, I feel like I got a good grasp on this. Maybe go work on the strength department. Maybe go work on some explosive workouts. Maybe go work on my nutrition, right? Because I'm,
Yeah.
maybe maybe at some point you're getting kind of fluffy. You're like, I got to work on this, right? Then
Yeah.
another part is like, well, I want to work on the editing component, or I want to develop my graphic design, right? So there's like
Mhm.
so many avenues that you can do in wrestling to help grow yourself and to push yourself in new directions. Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things I'm working on now is like the shifting of my character so that I can get more of the heel thing that I want, the look that I'm looking for. Like,
Yeah.
there's like so much cool stuff that you can get into in a pro wrestling that like helps you as a person. And you can translate those skills to real life skills, which is even better. So it's like,
Yeah.
how far do you want to push yourself?
Yeah. For sure. I think it is pretty interesting how there's the social media side of it and the promoting yourself, um and yeah, and the in-ring side too. And it's like at a certain point too, it's just like you can work on that in-ring side as much as you want, but if you don't grow that social media side, if you don't grow that networking side, it's like great, that one promoter thinks highly of you, that audience maybe loved it, but if you're not sharing that reel, if nobody's doing that work for you, then it's just like that might not lead to the next thing if
Right.
you're not out there promoting yourself and what you figured out, what you're doing.
Yeah, and it definitely like helps when you're looking at when you're trying to understand like what the new you is gonna look like, or even what the you that your current you you're trying to promote. Like, it's funny because like I listened to like Jeff Jarrett said it too, with like if you confuse them, you lose them. And
Mhm.
so, like, you got to kind of be consistent with what you're putting up. And for me, unfortunately, being I have a podcast and I actually still do this, like, people are just like, well, he's really nice on a podcast, but man, he's a prick in the ring. And like, I don't really know which side I like. And I'm like, all right, well, don't worry about it. Like, just enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, like, I don't know, frustrated might not be the right word, but it bums me out when I meet somebody and they're like, "Oh, you're a pro wrestler. You wrestle, here." And they're into the indies and they're like, "I'm definitely coming to the next show. Tell me where it at." And then I'll get the question like, "When I see you, should I boo you or should I cheer for you?" I'm like, "Whatever you're feeling, man." Like, well, I don't like. I hope you're into it enough that you have a reaction, but like, express it.
Yeah,
Like, I shouldn't have to like tell you.
exactly. I've been telling people that all the time. I'm like, I don't really care what you want to do, man. Just go out there and have fun and make it a ball. Like, that's the whole point of pro wrestling is that I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I just want you to go out and feel something because it's going to be important to you. It's like, no, just I love it when I get people who boo me. I love it when I get people who cheer me. So I'm like, just go do you. Have fun doing the thing that you want to do.
Yeah. And you know what? Neither of those things are this, on the phone. It's
Yeah.
like,
As
yeah,
long as as long as you're not on your phone, I don't really care. I just want you to boo me you know, till I leave the ring. And then if you want to continue to boo me after that, hey, just come find me and talk shit because I don't really care at that point.
yeah, like any
What's
investment
that?
is what I'm
But
what I'm hoping to get out of people.
give me 1 second, really quick. 3, 2, 1. But yeah, when I hear people talk to me about like crowd react or how they should react and stuff like that, I'm just like, give me all your energy. I don't care what it is. And I always love getting good like kid natural reactions to it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I think I've been to a show or two where there's an audience member who like finds it to be like their personal job to like get chants started and they kind of like know what they are. And man, it bums me out. It really bums me out. And I've seen it to the point where the fan got the crowd started like clapping like they wanted to come back and like the heat had been going for like 20 seconds. And I'm just like, and then the wrestlers like heard it and responded to it. And I'm just like, wow, you just messed with the whole match. Like, like just wait until you feel something. But I don't know. It's interesting, I guess.
yeah, everybody's reactions are kind of interesting. And I guess that's where also like it's on you as like performer to like know like, hey, at this point, like just you like build it up and then at like, just cut me off real quick then just like take it back down like I will move this match when I want to move it.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
because you know what you can do, I don't have to listen to you.
yeah.
I,
Like,
I've been stuck with John Cena's conversation piece where he was with Cody on what do you want to talk about, and he had mentioned about how I could talk to you for 45 minutes and you're probably just going to hear part of it and you're just going to ignore the rest.
yeah,
Or I can get you involved in a conversation. And now this 45-minute conversation goes, I talk, you talk, I talk, and we're having a conversation. So it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, I want to start, like when I start planning my matches or if I start talking about my match with someone, I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, okay, we can do all this stuff. And I'm just like, all right, first of all, where do they get to talk?
yeah.
Because
That's interesting.
yeah, you're talking to me about like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this, and this, and you can do this, and this, and then we'll do this, and this. I'm like, okay, cool, but when do they get to talk? Because they got to talk.
Yeah.
We can't
What
just
was
talk to them.
there's a I wish I could remember the exact one. There's a Dr. Death quote that I really like, and it was something along the lines of um, like good wrestlers can like respond to the crowd and kind of like do what you're talking about, and like there's like great wrestlers will make the crowd react to what they want them to react to, right? Kind of like that thing you were talking about earlier, like, nah, 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 nah. This guy ain't getting back up yet. Get back in your seat. He's dying. Like, um,
Shut up, geek.
yeah. And like, because it's, it is, that is like a blurring of lines between like audience and performer at some point, when it is like this dialogue where the performer feels obligated to respond and alter course because the audience has done something, and it's just like, nah, man, like, this is what's going on, and like, you might have thought something else was going on, but I'm beating the hell out of this guy. uh and like, I almost feel like that, what you're saying about like it can be a conversation, like I talk, you talk, and it's, I definitely not like wrong. Nobody's gonna say it. I'm not saying John Cena is wrong, but I do think that there are like multiple ways of thinking about it, and like, you should have different types of matches on every show. But the only type of match I watch with my downtime is G1 matches and like C1 matches. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm into. Like, I have a hard time watching almost like anything other than like singles matches that are just like meant to be relayed as this like, what's the motivation? Both people want to win the match. Like, everybody's trying to win the tournament. That's the motivation. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's
but they
not.
wrestle if they mean it. Like that's the
Yeah,
and that again goes back to the idea of like what is this, what's the motivation? Is like, well, there's a championship that I'm trying to win and we're all going towards like this goal of that. Whereas like your typical indie match, it's not always like that. There's always just kind of like what's the story we're gonna tell? Like,
yeah,
and some of those stories kind of just tell themselves, right? Like, oh, this dude is 7 foot tall and this guy's 5'10". Okay, well, this is clearly like big guy versus little guy story, right? Or like,
yeah.
oh,
Sure, but
yeah,
in all of those things, like even in some of the like really big character stories, right? Like, I at some point things have got to break down and somebody's got to get serious. Do you know what I mean? And it's got to be about winning the match. Like, whatever that thing was. If it was, maybe it's the little guy like finally got his one slam in on the big guy, finally chopped him down enough that he did it. Now the big guy's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you to win this match. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Well, and I always think about my boy Gino Told You So says he put up on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter or it was on Facebook. I don't remember, but he said, "If I put $1 million in the middle of the ring, I bet you plan your match different." And I'm like, "Yeah, kinda." I'm like, I kind of feel where you're coming from with that one,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like great character work. Like, oh, and we've had this debate on the podcast a few times where it's like, what's what's more important, character work or matches, right? Like characters or matches, right? And I lean back every single time. I'm like, well, I can remember a few matches, right? Because obviously they're like my favorites,
Hmm.
but I can remember a lot more characters. And I was like, to me, it seems like the characters like always matter. And it's again, this just goes back to my opinion about it, but to me, it's like character work matters because that's what brought you into the show to begin with.
I think for me it's really hard to separate the two,
Yeah,
right? Because like, and when you say like great matches, I'm assuming we're just talking about like the in ring and like the technical of it, right? Like, how clean was it? Did everything look real tight? Did it look like he was fucking that guy up? Oh, sorry, I don't know.
yeah, you're good.
Uh, and like, it's hard to do those things well and not have character in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think you almost never do, right? And it's like, uh, oh man, yeah, I'm so bad with names that it's ridiculous. But like, people think of like Regal as like this technician, but like amazing character, right? Like, a heel willing to be laughed at, all of these things that he does, and it's just like, like I feel like that's where it needs to be. And like uh you know you're I feel like that's true for like your Olympians who came into pro wrestling as well, right? Like the character like really got there, and I feel like that was such a large, like, of course the physicality was amazing, but like their characters were a part of what made it. Do you know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
it's really rare to see somebody who can like be in the zone and really be reacting to what's going on in a way that pulls people in, and not have that be a central core to their character too, you know? Like um yeah, I don't know. That's kind
no,
of
I feel where you're coming from because I mean, when you look at guys like Kurt Angle, an Olympian
yeah.
himself, like willing to be laughed at, but was like had different layers of like his character that went through, and you can call his big matches, all the like you know all the matches. It's just that,
I do not, man.
but that's just you, them,
No.
these people.
Yeah, yeah.
They know the matches. They're well aware of like what
Yeah, but like
you know.
Gable too, and that's why I said like the Olympians, right? Because I feel
Yeah.
that way about like.
But I think too, when you look at someone like we can use someone as like old as like Macho Man, like
Hmm.
his character work was like always really good. His wrestling was always tight. Let's be fair. Let's be
Yeah,
100 with him, Ricky Steamboat, Kurt Hennig, right? But when you look at other guys, man, like Taker's wrestling was always on point, but like Taker's character work is what we really kind of know him for, like 25 years of like the same character that kind of evolved here and there. And then like just for the main part though, like you're talking about like a lot of his character work was like really well done. Like he never broke kayfabe like ever until like
yeah.
he did like
Until
CrossFit.
until he did.
Until he did. Now Mark is like out here like on his own podcast, like pulling back the curtain like crazy.
But even that, right? Like I think um, Taker is such an interesting example because who else like has been like given the liberty to go with something like that nuts for so long? And I think that like certainly like his physical presence, right? Like his size and the fact that he can move like he could, and like all of those things, I think were a part of what got certain people to just be like, let's give it to him, see what happens, right? Knock it out of the park, and then it just continues for so long. But it's like, how many other people are like given the liberty to do that, and in a place where like everybody in the company that they work with is gonna respect that as like, I fear this unholy zombie. Do you know what I mean? Like, how it's I feel like it's really just not that common that you get a whole company behind a concept like that. And
Yeah,
not that it wasn't done incredibly well, but it's just like, yeah, I think that's a great example, and I think it's kind of what I'm talking about, because it's like if the work wasn't good, it would not have lasted. Do you know what
no,
I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
And it's like I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say either. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
the match, or oh, the it's like the match isn't good, you know?
Matches, yeah, matches are good, but also like you can have these wrestlers who like they're really great with the wrestling, and then their character is like over the top zany, and for some reason it just sticks with us, right? I think of Kurt Angle's like funny moments of like the cowboy hat and the guitar, what I
Mhm.
mean? But like Santino Marella, like that character like does it for me. Like he's amazing at what he does. And like Eddie Guerrero like was always tight with his ring work, but like we always talk about how he lied to cheats his skills, and like we're all do the little shuck, you know what I mean? Like I don't know,
Yeah,
to me, like I love good characters that I can like latch onto
yeah.
and just like right now, like currently one of my favorite people is well one, I love Javon Evans. Like my
Okay.
man is
Yeah, yeah.
lit. But Obafemi is that dude. Because here's why. Go listen to Obafemi when he just got signed to WWE, and
Mhm.
you'll be amazed at what you see. Because he's
I
just
gotta
like,
listen to it. Yeah, I
yeah,
gotta
you'll
find it
be
out.
like, you're like, hey, we want to welcome in the new NIL prospect. Here he is with us right now. I forget his real name. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry. But he's like, hey, no, guys, I'm very happy to be here. This is going to be a great experience for me. Yeah, it's just, it's been a lifelong dream of mine to be here at the WWE, and we'll just see what we can do from there. And the next time you see him, he's like, I am the ruler. Like, I am Obafemi. And you're like, that's not what you sounded like when you first got here. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I, I get it. It's a performance. I understand there's great character work, but you, sir, have got it.
yeah, yeah. Have you do
Yo,
you ever watch Seamus's Brave Change like workout?
yes.
Uh, it's like Obafemi like push pressing overhead like 325 for reps, like insane. I'm just like, okay, all right.
Man, it's such a beast, bro. Like, it's crazy to think, like, if you look at John Cena's wall, like in his garage, he has all the
Uh-huh.
real names of people who broke in like I think it was like the 1,500 pound or 2,000 pound club. Kofi's on that list, and you're kind of like, what? Like, I've seen Kofi's like
Yeah, yeah,
chest, and I don't see it, but like he's on that list. But it's amazing to see like the list of names, and then you're like, I mean, just look at Big E. Big E broke all of Mark Henry's high school records in Texas.
yeah,
Like, the man who said it is in WWE. The guy who breaks it is now in WWE, and now like here's like another man like Obafemi who's out here snatching records too. I'm like, these guys are ridiculously big. And I remember like Taker talked about one time where there was a dude, and he talked about in the Joe Rogan Experience. There was a guy, I forget who he was talking about. One of you guys will put in the comments below. Not really trying to think too much about it, but he put up 405 on a squat rack, and he told Taker like, "Hey, can you spot me?" So Taker was like, "Okay."
yeah.
So he goes to spot him for 405, like as a squat, and the guy's like, "What are you, gay or something?" He's like, "No, bro, just watch me." And he just starts shoulder pressing 405. It was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I, guys who lift unbelievable feats blow my mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I feel like I have to know. So it's a 1 ton club and it's 6 lifts. I'm trying to figure out
Because I know it's deadlift and bench and squat, and I think it's clean.
clean, jerk, snatch, deadlift, bench. So it's like the Olympic lifts and the
Mhm.
power lifts, I guess.
Yeah,
Dang. So what
yeah,
is that?
ton.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Uh yeah, so you're like 300 for each of those lifts is like what it would, but yeah, it's nuts.
that's fine for me. I mean, I have a trap bar at my gym, and I
Mhm.
just pull 505. So like I'm almost there.
Your strongest lift is almost big enough to carry one of the weaker lifts. Yeah.
Yeah, just like let me just get there with
Yeah.
this. And like, how
Gang
much
gang.
can you clean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only recently started doing like I guess like real strength and conditioning. Like I've been
Yeah,
doing like kettlebell stuff forever, which is like conditioning strength. I feel
yeah.
like is the way I've been doing it. Um, but it's like yeah, because I would do like 20 rounds that include like 3 squats, a clean, and a press with like 132. And then like I was having a really hard time cleaning more than like 156 or something like that. But it's like
Mhm.
it's kettlebells. They're like weird weight. Like you gotta and it's not on a bar. So you gotta like get it here and like keep it
Tight.
uh yeah. I don't have a duplicate weight, so I'm always like cleaning and squatting uneven weight. Um and like there's no way to go up by 5 pounds. So like
Right.
when it's time to progress, you got to like really progress. It's like okay, well I did it with a 62 pound and a 70 pound. If I want to increase weight, I've got to include this 88. So I gotta go up like 25 pounds if I want to increase weight.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I was over here the other day playing with a kettlebell, and I was playing with a 32 kilo,
Yeah,
and we were just doing 10 rounds every minute on the minute, uh, 10, 10 kettlebell swings.
yeah.
And I forgot how hard that is.
So I tried to do 200 kettlebell swings with the same weight inside of 10 minutes, and I made it to like 168. So I
Mm,
started. every round was 20 swings every minute on the minute. And I think I
Yeah,
made it 6 rounds in, and then I cut it to like 15 because my grip was going.
yeah.
And then like towards the end, I think I got like one set of 18 at the end there. But I was just like, man, that'd be a good goal. Like keep trying to get to 200 in 10 minutes.
That's
105 minutes though. That I did.
that is insane because I'm not. That's not a thing that I'm like. And I probably, I guess, if I really push myself, I could probably hit that. But I was like, nah, I'm trying to build back up. Like I did something to my shoulder. Like
Yeah.
one of my friends who's a physical therapist was like, yeah, I think you have a grade one AC sprain. So I had to like really stop lifting and just like let it rehab up. So
Yeah.
I've been like working more mobility than anything for like the last 8 weeks. And I'm like,
Dang.
I'm ready to get back into benching. Like I'm ready to
Yeah.
start throwing up some heavy weight again and start pushing myself into like a better progression. But like again, I'm limited.
Yeah.
And funny enough, today was the first night. Well, today was the first day where I was able to sleep all night on my left shoulder.
Oh,
And I
nice.
couldn't sleep on it because like as soon as I turn, just instantly I'd be like, oh damn it! All right, let me go back to my, let me go lay on my back. Let me go lay on my right side.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been incredibly lucky with shoulders. It's like it's all low back and ankles. Those are my constant like in and out of injury rehabs.
yeah, I've been fortunate. I mean, outside of like the military and like ruining my feet, my back, um, I've been fortunate with like injuries in the ring. As far as like, I think the biggest thing I did is I tore my abdomen. Like the first, it had to been my first year I was in. It was like August. Tore my
Hmm.
abdomen and I was out. I was out for like 12 weeks. That sucked.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, everything else has been kind of like, the little normal thing knickknacks that you get into, you
Yeah.
know, like straight a muscle, you gotta wait, wait for it to heal, then you do this, you do that. Like otherwise,
You got to do
yeah,
what?
you gotta wait, you gotta heal, bro.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah. Well, that's also, you mad young too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, I'm the first part of your name, and that's the problem. Like, I'm like, "Oh, man, I gotta wait till this thing heals up a little bit so I can start getting back into what I gotta get into."
Yeah. No, I've been lucky enough that most things I've been able to work around, slap a brace on it. Uh, you know, it's like there's certain things I have to like take a little easier for a
Yeah.
time, but I think I've only missed like one match due to injury,
Mm.
um, which is pretty lucky, all things considered.
I remember one time, I think there was, like, a post, some dude put it out there that, like, you hit somebody with a drop kick,
Oh
and
no.
I just remember that one time, and I'm not gonna bring it up again, but I just remember that, and I was like, "I know this dude. I've worked with this dude." Like, it might have just been an unfortunate incident, and it happens. And I was like, "Man, the way dude was like talking about you, I was like, y'all here making it sound like he does this shit purposely."
Yep, they really were. There were a number of death threats. It was not great. I was just like,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
yeah, it was dumb. It was really dumb. Um, No, I wanted to ask you though, man, because like you've been in for a while, so I want to know kind of like what's the worst bump you've taken?
Worst bump? Oh, I don't even know, man. Like, I don't think I had a similar conversation. Uh, well, there is something that I remember, right? And it was like uh, one of the coaches at EWA who's not there anymore, but he wrestled all over for a while. Um, Somebody had seen one of his matches, like a trainee, and asked him, like, "Do you remember this bump? Like, it was sick." And told it, came off the top rope, this, that, every
Yeah,
other. And he looks at him and he's like, "Nah, I don't remember it." And he was like, and the trainee like couldn't process like how do you not remember like this insane like whatever the hell bump. I just kind of looked at him like I think at some point the only bumps you really remember are the ones that take you out of the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I remember, I remember taking a back suplex that was fine, right? And then getting up left over right to then like sprint in and eat something. But getting up, I rolled my ankle. I
Mm.
rolled my ankle getting up left over right and had to like, I was like out. That was like, that was it. That was the match. I was like, I rolled my ankle bad enough just standing up in the ring that I was out of the match. And like, man, that stuff I remember. But like, I don't know, man. Like,
No,
Soul
I
hits
know.
pretty hard. I'll say that.
So, well, it's funny because okay, so you guys can go back look at a previous episode that I did with Saul. Saul literally tells me on the show, he's like, I like to wrestle, but for some reason everybody just likes to hit me really hard. I'm like, well, you hit people hard, bruh.
Yeah,
Like it's not like, yeah, there's like a difference between like being snug and then just kind of like what Saul does. And I could hear it. I'm like, yo, I was like, Saul, you're like laying these in, bruh. Like, no
yeah,
one people are meeting your energy with energy. Like
yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
ah, blow, and then they just come in and just hit you back, and you're like, yo, I don't like getting hit hard. I was like, well, you hit people hard,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you that violent.
Yeah,
I'll never forget like having that conversation with him on the podcast where he was like, "Yeah, I just remember like, yeah, man, what's your favorite?" He's like, "Well, I like actually doing wrestling." He's like, but for some reason people just want to hit me really hard." I'm like, yo, dog.
yeah, yeah. Saul brings it out of people. he
Yeah,
he
yeah,
helps
I
them
could see
he helps them find that intent.
it. Yo, so let me ask you another quick question before we jump into one of my favorite parts of the Three Count podcast, right? So, being in a business as long as you have, what is like one of the biggest lessons you've learned being in a ring? Well, being in a business, I should say, not in a ring.
Mm. I feel like for me, I feel like there were a few like really memorable like aha moments or like points of progression for myself that like really stick out. And I feel like early on there was like this constant fear that I was just gonna like deer in the headlights. And I was so scared of that I couldn't hear the audience. And there were all of these things going on that I wasn't reacting to and wasn't, present for because
Mm,
I was so worried about, well, I was worried, period, right? Like just worried that I would do a bad job, worried about like all these things. And and I feel like my my old man young boy character, black trunks, black boots, and trying to like wrestle in a style that is like dirt simple, but like as clean as I can make it. Do you know what I mean? Uh, that really helped me. That was like a tool that helped me get like out of that fear a bit. Um, I remember like finally starting to hear the audience. And it was like, because I was like, could I hear them? Yes, but like it was all tuned out. I remember like being able to hear the audience and like that for me, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm progressing. um, and yeah, I don't know. I think there was like, I think the other thing was like, there was a point in time where I stopped feeling excited for my match. Like I'd be at the show, I'd be waiting, and I'm just like, I'm here, man, you know? And I think I remember talking to Berger about that. And he was like, "That's not good." He was like you should feel nervous. You should feel excited. Like why aren't you? Why aren't you these things? And I was like, I think that was when I kind of like I was like, I really need to be watching wrestling intentionally, right? I need to watch the stuff that I love because like I need to remind myself that I love this thing and that I need to like, you know, I need to be a little nervous. I need to be very excited. Like this is you can't you can't put the time in because it's like even when I'm not booked often, I'm still training anywhere between like not even counting like the strength training, just like in ring training, like
Yeah.
somewhere between like 6 and 10 hours a week. Um,
Dang. Okay.
and like not even all in Baltimore, you know. Sometimes I'll like drive to Philly for it, but and then there's all the like the strength training and the conditioning and like the mobility stuff that I do on the side, and it's like I can't be doing all this stuff and forget that I love this thing. Um, yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's like I feel like that's kind of like the pathway I've been on, and Catchpoint actually, like going up to Philly, like probably a bit over a year ago, I started going up there. Um, and it was like between the drive and the drop-in fee and the tolls, it's like really helpful to do it like on a good month, twice a month, and then try and hit like bare minimum once a month. But I think how supportive like their crew is of each other,
Yeah.
um, and and the environment the coaches have built up there, I feel like it did a lot for me, how I was feeling about wrestling, how I was feeling about myself in wrestling, a lot of those things. Because it's like I think for a while there, I was always trying to like fine tune stuff. I was always trying to get better. And like you were talking about, right? And like I said earlier with the social media, right? You go out there and have a match that people react to, great. But if you don't promote it, what does it mean? And I just kept telling myself I'm putting like all this work into getting in better shape, getting better cardio, being better as a wrestler. And that's where like all my eggs were in those baskets. And I wasn't posting frequently. I wasn't reaching out to promoters. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. And
Yeah.
I was just like, well, if I'm better, eventually they're going to reach out to me. And it's like that did not manifest. And like that was pretty rough. And it's just like, okay, all right, I gotta do something else. But no, getting up there I think was really helpful for like making me feel like different about the thing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense though, because I know for me, like, you know, I don't get to spend as much time in the ring as I want to. Like, I need
Mhm.
to start actually fully, not fully transparent. Like, I'm in the gym probably 10, sometimes 12 hours a week. So I'm
Yeah,
in the gym, always working on something, right? Mobility, core work,
yeah,
strength training, cardio, something's happening, right? And the stretching, just massive. Thanks for me to learn that. Took me years. But all of that, like all matters. So I'll spend some time in the ring. But what I've really started doing was pulling myself back out of what and watching wrestling shows and just watching them as a fan. And
yeah.
just letting myself forget that like I do this too, right? Like I want to be awed. I want to be like, oh my
Hmm.
god, what the fans are seeing and this, that, and the other. Um, Last year with the Royal Rumble, right? Rey Mysterio was the number one entrant, right? The
Hmm.
number two entrant was Penta, and here I am, full, so happy, like I'm in tears. People thought it was fake. Like
Yeah,
I legit had people in my comment section telling me like it's a fake reaction. He's just, he's getting
yeah,
paid to do it. I was like, bro, like I'm genuinely happy seeing two of my favorites wrestling in the ring right now. And I could go see,
yeah,
Lucha Underground. I could go watch Lucha Underground. I can go watch it on any indie show that they were on that's being promoted on video. But to see it in WWE on the biggest stage in my favorite event of all time, like
yeah,
I was in it. And because I used to get nervous a lot for all my matches. I don't really get nervous anymore. What I do notice though is that right before I go out, I start to feel the butterflies. But that moment that where they're calling the match and everything, we're like, all right, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I'm like, all right, yep, I see that. Okay, cool, cool. But something you just brought up that I think about too is like when I'm in the moment, I can see everything and hear everybody. And if I don't hear people, I'm like, yo, we are fucking up. Like, we have got to get this right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I started talking to people, and like in this last match I had, one of the kids was like, "Yeah, I had a sticker thing idea." I was like, "Cool, play that up, and after you do it, like, let's just ham it up."
Who
They're like,
do you remember who that was?
um, it's gonna be funny. We'll talk about it after the show. I won't talk about
Okay.
it now, but yeah,
Sure.
we'll talk. But yeah. So we're living this moment up, and I had brought it up to him. I was like, yeah, afterwards, it's like, yeah, man, when you get those moments, like the sticker, let it breathe.
Yeah.
Like like we're in a triple threat, and I was like, he's there in the ring, he's waiting for you to react, like to do your thing, but react to me
Yeah.
because I'm going to the crowd. I'm talking shit. Like I'm about to beat your ass because you put this fucking sticker on my face. So, but yeah, I think now I started piecing things back. I'm like, okay, cool. I can see this. I can hear this. I can feel this different energy. Like I'm starting to realize that now, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a lot more fun. This is like
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything. I can get a hip toss over. I'm in. This is the thought process I have now.
Yeah.
Um, but let me take you to the 3 Count Podcast 10 count questions. Mr.
Okay.
Youngboy, how it works. I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast, and whatever your answer is, that is your answer.
All right. This is gonna be bad.
It's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna put on the imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And in the words of my favorite commentator, Mike Goldberg, here we go. Favorite movie?
Gross Point Blank.
Let's go. Marvel or DC?
DC.
Favorite cartoon growing up?
Jackie Chan Adventures.
That's a good pick. If you could live in any TV show universe, which one would it be?
90s X-Men. That's a bad
That's,
answer, but
no, I love that answer. By the way, no,
well, it's like, what if you're not a mutant? You're just one of
yeah,
these
now
people
you're just a
dying
freak.
in the rubble.
You're a mutinist at that point. Like, are you joining one of the factions to like
Yeah,
help get
like
rid of the X-Men? Like, who are you gonna be? It's like,
you're just a dude without a smartphone sitting at
you just
home.
you just hear it's like, oh god, hope they don't come find me. Anime or sitcoms?
Anime.
Apple or Android?
Android.
Favorite video game?
I'm just gonna like right now. I've been playing Mugenics. It's pretty fun.
A theme song you know every word to?
I don't think I have a theme song that I know every word to. The theme song to what is it? Theme song to Rawhide, because there's a scene in the Blues Brothers where they're at a country music bar and
Yeah,
like country western. Because I've seen that scene a lot.
I like it. If your life is a soundtrack, what song is playing?
um, what's the song by Bobby McFerrin that everyone knows? Don't
What?
worry, be happy. Like everything's falling down around you, but don't worry, be happy. Landlord say your rent is late. Don't worry, be happy.
And then my last question I love asking every single person that comes on this show: favorite curse word?
Oh, favorite curse word. I feel like I was watching a lot of like British television for a bit there. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but when people frustrate me driving, I've been using the C word a lot.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's so weird too, man, because we're just literally we here in this country
Hmm.
so cautious of saying that word.
Yeah.
But when you're in Britain, man, cunt just flies. Like,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But we're the only us in we're like, oh, I can't believe you said the C word. I'm like, first of all, what? Like,
Yeah.
there's only one word that's referred to as a letter and the word, and cunt is not that word. I remember like Fox News, or it's like Fox News, it was CNN. They're
Uh-huh.
like, "Is Karen the new N-word?" And I was like, "Well, first, if you have to say
Yeah,
Karen,
you
then
said
say
the word. So,
no,
no, it's not.
it's not." It's
You
clearly
didn't
that's not
you
the
didn't
worst word.
censor, fined for $50,000, so no,
Yeah.
that's not the
No. I was like, "That's crazy."
yeah.
Alright. So, listen, uh, that's all my questions I have for you, so the last thing I need is for you to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Oldman Youngboy or Youngboy Old Man. Sometimes it's reversed. Sorry, I'm not very consistent on X and Instagram, and that's it. Those are the only places. I guess if you're in Tennessee, you can see me at Action Wrestling next Saturday. Uh, that'll be a lot of fun. So,
Hey, Action
and then in March 23rd, EWA Bel Air Armory, and probably some stuff in between the two, but don't know what they are yet.
You just throw it out there. You'll be somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Bet. Well, listen, he gave you all of his handles. He told you where you can find him. He even gave you a couple of his dates where he's going to be showing up. So, what does that mean? Like every great part of a wrestling match, we got to take this home. Because this is the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And like every good shirt, but it's never about me. It's about who's entering. So who's entering? You see the man right there, old man, young boy himself. And you guys know what to do. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or you're literally signed up to all of our social media platforms. You're checking us out on YouTube. Just subscribe to our channel here. You're even, liking it, leaving a comment, sharing this with your friends. You're even check us out on Amazon Music. You're leaving us 5-star frog splash reviews off of the top rope onto Apple Podcasts. You're checking us out on Spotify. You're even listening to us with that dumb app with the stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio or whatever it is. You're buying our merch at foryourwear.com. You're even buying our merch on prowrestlingtees.com if you're looking for that classic look. And then, you're telling your mom about it, your dad about it, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your cousins, your grandmas, your grandpas, and your best friends, and your enemies, because we love haters too. You're doing all that stuff, or really, you're just kind of waiting for this episode to end. You're waiting for that outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to.
Or leave this one on repeat, let it play all night, and then tomorrow find a new one.
There you go. Quay.
What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the Three Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz friends, Red Dog friends, Damien friends, the film styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod. Whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify. All those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.